What it do, people? It's your boy, Derek, on the mic. What is it? February 13th, 2023. The Super Bowl just ended yesterday. This is Super Bowl Monday, or post-Monday, I should say. I got a loaded show to talk about today. It's not going to just be the NFL. It's going to be the NBA, of course. And I'm going to add some UFC in there. Usually I just do an old UFC video review before a fight. I completely forgot about it, guys. I apologize. But I am going to give my post reaction to the Volkanowski fight and the Emmett fight. I wasn't too familiar with the other fighters that were fighting. Some of them I know, but the one I'm looking forward to is 285. We can discuss those in the future here. But I think we did some picks. Yeah. Anyways, before we begin, subscribe below. I just need 83 more subscribers to hit 200. Help a brother out, man. And be sure to hit that like button. Do appreciate that. I've been getting about 4 likes a week, guys. Appreciate you guys. All right. LeBron James is now the NBA scoring king. He has passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 38,387 points to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Now, I know what you guys are all saying. Oh, LeBron's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. But honestly, y'all need to think about this for a second. We shouldn't even be thinking about who's the greatest of all time. We are literally witnessing greatness. And as you can see right here, he just remakes the old pick that Kareem did, I believe, back in the day. I think you could see it on there. Just recreating picks and shit. Pretty awesome. But yeah, literally, guys, like we're literally witnessing greatness right now. Everyone keeps asking me all the time who I think the greatest of all time is. I think it's MJ. And I've just been fortunate enough to see so much greatness in my lifetime. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to have as much greatness as I've seen. I mean, there's people out there that are as old as me that have seen this, but I got to see MJ. I mean, I got to see Shaq. I got to see Kobe Bryant. I got to see LeBron James. I'm watching Giannis now. We got to see Stephon Curry. Like, I can keep going on with names, but I've been literally watching elite players for a long time. But to MJ's defense, the reason why there's a load of, I don't even talk about stats because stats to me are irrelevant. Everyone can pad their stats. Everybody can do certain things throughout, their entire career. I mean, obviously, if you look at it, LeBron James has played longer than MJ, but also MJ didn't come right out of high school. He played in college. Also, MJ retired a couple times. We can go on with all that stuff. We're not going to go on stats because, like I said, the stats are irrelevant. We're going to know what these guys have brought to the game. And what I mean to the game of how they've changed the NBA as a whole. Like, is the NBA different now compared to what it was then based off of this particular player? When MJ came onto the court, he wanted to be the best player all the time, every single time he's on the court. I feel like when I watch LeBron James go and play, I feel like he just wants to be the center of attention. He just wants to show out. He doesn't necessarily want to be the best player on the court. Now, I know that LeBron James has faced all this elite talent of Hall of Famers and things like that. It's cool. But I also just saw LeBron James' kid wearing MJs the other day, wearing some Jordans. They're just things like that. I mean, the majority of those, I've had to say, the world probably wears more Jordans than people wear LeBrons. I actually made a post on my Facebook the other day because I was genuinely curious to see who actually wears LeBron James. I actually had a few of my friends actually wear LeBron James. I was actually quite surprised. But I guarantee if I made a same post and said, hey, man, which one of my friends wear Jordans? I'm just curious. I would have a lot more people comment on my post. And it just goes to show you what he's done. This man hasn't been in the league in 30 years, or 23 years, I should say. I think he retired in 2000, right? Might have been 2001. Anyways, last 20 years. He hasn't played in 20 years. And people are still buying his shoes. People are still saying that he's the greatest of all time. And they're comparing him to LeBron James. We're not comparing him, but let me rephrase that. People are comparing LeBron James to Michael Jordan. When you're being compared to another player like that, I mean, it just goes to show you that that player might be better than the player that you're trying to compare him to. Because whenever you go into the NFL, you always get, or NBA, you always have a player that's going into the draft. Like, yeah, he's got like some good similarities to this player right here who's already played. You know what I'm saying? Like they're comparing them because they're telling you the talent level that that person's on. So when you guys compare MJ and LeBron, I feel like they have the same talent. They are really good players. They are both GOATs of their times and their eras. It's different eras. And I never want to hear that fucking tough bullshit. I feel like it's always tough no matter what you're playing. And it's gotten a lot faster nowadays. And I feel like the whole thing now is with scoring, you know. But when it comes to like greatness, I just feel like when I remember back in the day of my dad and my dad's friends or my mom's friends or people that actually watched basketball, and they were talking to me about, you know, Michael Jordan. They used to talk about Chicago and how shit it was. And I'm not talking about the city. I'm talking about the team. The team was dog shit. I think if I remember correctly, and if I remember reading correctly too, it was a low market team. It wasn't a big ass market team like it is now. It was shit. MJ comes, and now we won 6 championships, and this entire city, like we haven't won a championship since. We've come close. We had Derrick Rose. I mean, there's just nothing that's come in close to comparison to something like that. This man is undefeated in the finals, never went to a game 7. I mean, like I said in the very beginning, we shouldn't be comparing GOATs. Whenever we talk about someone just breaking a record for the first time, records that a lot of people said would never be broken, but this man just broke one. We should be appreciating that moment for what it is at that particular time, not comparing. The next record that LeBron James breaks, which I'm sure he's going to, we don't need to be having this conversation again. Oh, is he the greatest of all time? No, look at how many fucking championships he's got. Because I feel like that's what everyone always predicates it on, championships. Look at his overall record. Look at the percentages. It just speaks for itself. And like I said, that aura, like I don't feel like I don't feel like the NBA would be what it is today if it wasn't for MJ. That dude was just different. Maybe I'm just a biased person, but I also appreciate LeBron James. I used to hate him. I used to dog him at any chance that it took. But honestly, over time, after watching him play, I'm like, man, why am I hating on this guy, dude? This dude's fucking good. I'm going to appreciate him. And that's what I've done ever since, man, and just appreciate the game for what it is. This man is great. Is he the greatest player of all time? He's one of those. He's one of the greatest players of all time. And honestly, I keep them all up there. They're all up there. There's a lot of them, man. Kobe, MJ, and LeBron James. Those are my GOATs. All right, moving on from that. LeBron James obviously made that fucking, breaking the record. I'm sorry. AD's was sitting on the bench. A lot of people watched his reaction, saw him not really getting excited about it. He was sitting down the entire time. I want to give some insight into that. He already came out and said that, hey, I was just upset because we were losing the game. Me, on the other hand, I was doing some digging. I watched an interview with Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith said that in the back room or in the locker room or whatever it was, Russell Westbrook was just arguing with one of the general managers, I think it was, or the coach, one of the two. He was just arguing with someone in there, and I think it was just it. You know how sometimes when people argue around, it just gets awkward or it's like it's uncomfortable. Let's put it that way. Very uncomfortable. That spreads to everybody else on the team. So maybe he just takes it differently. People process things differently. Maybe he's frustrated about Russell Westbrook being a nuisance, you know, in the backcourt or in the back locker room and things like that. You know, there's a lot of things. You don't always have to appreciate every accolade that everyone has. I mean, is it a great accolade? Yeah. And honestly, he should have stood up, in my opinion. I feel like that was kind of shitty. But when you're also losing and whatnot, maybe could have just celebrated that after the game or something like that. I've also never seen them stop the game, but we've also never thought this record would be broken. So, yeah. Yeah, just don't be hating on AD so much, man. I think that he was just really mad, maybe because he's losing that. I think that's just an excuse, but I think literally it was Russell Westbrook. I really think it was. All righty, now we're going to talk about trades. Now, there is a lot of trades that happened since the last time I've had my show. I'm just going to go through a lot of them. Here's one. You can always go to Woj. This is what I call him, at Woj. WOJ It's Adrian. But at ESPN sources, the Lakers are finalizing a deal to land Minnesota's D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt in a trade including Mike Conley and picks to the Timberwolves, and Russell Westbrook and a lightly protected 2027 LA first-round pick to the Jazz. Also in deal, Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones to Jazz. Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Timberwolves, and Minnesota gets a 2024 lesser of a Washington Memphis second round pick and a 2025-2026 second round picks through Utah. All righty, let me get rid of that one. There is more, and we'll talk about some of them. Let's see. The Knicks are trading Cam Reddish and a protected future first rounder to the Blazers for Josh Hart from the Knicks. Josh Hart's a pretty decent player, man. He's very productive, gets a lot of assists and rebounds. Doesn't score too much, but I feel like he's efficient when he needs to be. He gets the job done. Matisse Thybulle to the Blazers. Jalen McDaniels to the 76ers in a 3-team trade. Woj again says the Hornets will get multiple second-round picks in this deal. The Blazers are routing New York's I don't know. I'm going to mess it up. Mike Hayuk, I think. Maybe, I don't know. I'm probably botching this really bad. To Charlotte in the trade, too. I apologize for botching that name really bad. Hopefully someone can just tell me what it actually is, and I'll say it correctly next time. Orlando Magic trading Mo Bamba to Los Angeles Lakers for Patrick Beverley in a second-round pick. It's kind of funny because he tweeted out the gang's back together when D'Angelo Russell came to the Lakers, and then this happened. So it's not back together. You come, bro. Let's see. Yeah, there was a lot of trades this weekend. James Wiseman was traded from the Warriors to the Pistons. Hawk get Saddiq Bey and some picks. Saddiq Bey, I found him out last year when I was playing fantasy basketball. I picked him up off the waiver wire, and he actually was pretty productive. Phoenix is sending Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and Cam Johnson 4 first-round picks and a pick swap for Kevin Durant. Yeah, Kevin Durant is now on the Suns. The Clippers are trading John Wall to the Rockets for Eric Gordon in a multi-team deal with the Grizzlies. Rockets get John Wall and Danny Green. Clippers get Eric Gordon, and Grizzlies get Luke Kennard. The Milwaukee Bucks are acquiring Jay Crowder in a trade with the Brooklyn Nets for 5 second-round picks. Yeah, I said that. 5 second-round picks. I think that's it. There might be more trades. Hold on. And by the way, Kevin Durant privately requested to be traded to the Suns. Kyrie Irving got traded to the Mavericks. I don't think I had that on here. Let's see. A streak for those. Okay, also, I want to share this little bit of information right quick. I thought during the NBA trade deadline day, NFL picks are only permitted to be traded for 3 years out. It would be kind of fascinating to see how the trade landscape in the NFL would change if the parameters were the same as the NBA, 7 years, especially with how much so many teams value picks. And that's what Field Yates said. I thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit. Like, I didn't realize that. I always wonder, like, man, NBA just be drafting, like, they don't give a fuck about picks. They'd be going far as hell out the way. All right, yeah, 7 years from now. All right, let's see. How about 2030? You can have our pick, man. It's like, what, 2030, dude? NFL doesn't do that. I think it'd be nuts. Like, because the NFL values picks tremendously. They shouldn't do that. I feel like that's just too much. Because then I feel like that can really mess up your future, man. 7 years into the future. Jeez. But yeah, there's a lot of picks that were going on. Russell Westbrook is now on the Jazz, and apparently he's actually might get a contract buyout. He might stay with the Jazz, or if they ended up buying his contract out, he's deciding whether he wants to play for the Bulls or for the Heat. I could take Russell Westbrook off the bench, or honestly over Ayo, because we do need someone who can facilitate the ball. The only thing that's going to suck is he turns the ball over a lot, but I feel like he'd be pretty productive for our team, and he would help our team a little bit better. And I don't know if we'd win more games or anything like that, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea. I'm not against it, but there's also Kyrie on the Mavs, and he already came out with a quote. He was asked on his fresh start with the Mavs. He goes, "I just know I want to be in a place where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated or dealt with in a way that doesn't make me feel respected." I feel like him and Luka Doncic are going to be really, really good. I feel like they're kind of some favorites to definitely make the playoffs and definitely make a deep go, if not get all the way to the finals. Then you also have Kevin Durant, who got traded out of Brooklyn now. And isn't that crazy? They just had James Harden, you had Kevin Durant and Kyrie on your team, and it just didn't work. And here we are now, and then neither of those guys are on your team anymore. It's like, damn, that sucks, dude. But I mean, I thought Kevin Durant and all of them were going to, win them a championship for the first time, but no. But anyways, Kevin Durant is now on the Suns, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna they're my favorites to win the whole entire thing now. Like, I think the Suns are literally gonna win it all. It's just crazy. Like, Ayton's over there, Chris Paul, Booker. I mean, fuck, dude. That's a good team. Talk about a super team, man. Cray. And then Jake Crowder got traded for 5 second-round picks. That's crazy, man. That is crazy, man. Wow. That's why I said they don't give a fuck about picks. They just like, all right, 5 second-rounders, send them on over. You can have them. We don't fucking need them. Jake Crowder's a really good player, but man, I don't think he was worth 5 second-round picks, but apparently he is, dude. So who the fuck am I? Like, damn. Let's see. Alrighty. All right, I guess we can get into the NFL. Christian McCaffrey, he feels the 49ers had NFC title stolen from them by quarterback injuries. And the NFL is having discussions currently right now about adding a third quarterback, and possibly just for the playoffs, but it could be for the season. But right now, when it comes to active game day, you can only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster, for those of you that don't know. Christian McCaffrey thinks that's bullshit, and that was the reason why they lost. He feels like that's the reason why that was stolen from them. Now, I feel like that's a bit of a stretch. You got to give credit to the other team's defense. I mean, they play pretty good, but it is also unfortunate that Brock Purdy couldn't throw anymore in that fourth quarter. So like, they just pretty much just ran the ball. I mean, it's kind of expected. So them not having a chance to come back. I feel like I understand Christian McCaffrey saying, "Yo, it got stolen from us. If we had a quarterback that was in that could actually throw, maybe we would have had a chance to win." But maybe that's what you should have said. I think I think that's what you meant to say. Like, hey, if we actually had a quarterback there, we would have had a chance to win. I don't think you actually meant stolen. I mean, maybe if none of them are injured, but they definitely need to have at least 3 quarterbacks on the roster. I mean, things just happen. I thought this was a thing. I didn't know. Maybe it was changed a long time ago, but I always thought there was 3 active quarterbacks on the roster. But maybe that was just me being blind and not seeing that they have maybe 3 quarterbacks on the roster, but on the active roster for game day, there's only 2. Chase Young. Let's see if I have anything else. Yep. Okay. Chase Young, they're not exercising. They're deciding. Ron Revere's deciding on they want to exercise Chase Young's 5th-year option. And this is what was said. Ron Revere said that they haven't decided yet on whether they'll exercise the 5th-year option. They need to discuss his health and review his growth and development. But he wouldn't be worried about the messaging if they declined to pick it up. And this says, no, because that's what we did with Darren. It cost us, but it cost us in a good way because the young man played. He did things the right way. He didn't sit out. He didn't withhold. He could have done that sit in during training camp, but he didn't. And because he didn't, now we're in that position where we have to find a way to thank you. Okay, you've earned it. So right now they're deciding on whether they should do it. I personally think you should, because what if you don't? You don't do it. Maybe he sees that as a sign of disrespect. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But what if he has a baller out year? Now he's going to be highly sought after. He might want to go play somewhere else. He doesn't like Washington. Plus, the team's up for sale. I don't know, man. Let's see. Roger Goodell addresses NFL officiating. He says, I don't think it's ever been better. You didn't watch last night's game. Ever been better. I mean, I wanted the Chiefs to win. I do think that call in the 4th quarter, game time, it's crunching. I feel like a lot of cornerbacks do that often, and I feel like a lot of times it doesn't get called. But I also feel like it goes based off the referee's crew, and I feel like it starts early in the game. You're already kind of going to know how a referee is based off how they call the game early on. So if there's a bunch of penalties early on in the game, you pretty much know there's going to be penalties throughout the whole entire game. If there's not a lot of penalties in the game, you're like, all right, the refs are letting them play. All right, cool. Well, they weren't really calling that throughout the game, to be honest with you. And then finally they call it in the 4th quarter. I think James Bradbury came out. Is that his name? Where am I at? Yeah, I mean, he just came out and said that he did tug on him, and he said that he shouldn't. He said that he didn't think the refs were going to catch him. I think he probably thought what we all thought. They haven't been calling it all game. Why would they now? And they did. So, I mean, the Chiefs won, though. I mean, for sure they won. Patrick Mahomes is literally exceptional. We'll get into him a little bit later today, but I just want to say the refs are not good. Okay, Roger, you have a problem, bro. And there's been loads of blown calls all throughout the season. I mean, it just needs to get better. We need better officiating. I don't. You know what I mean? When you say I don't think it's ever been better, then that just makes me think that you haven't watched football lately. Also, the NFL will now have flex scheduling for Monday Night Football starting next season. Commissioner Roger Goodell said it would not surprise him if eventually Thursday Night Football was something to be flexed. I wonder when it would be flexed to. A Friday, maybe? A Saturday game? Probably a Saturday game, honestly. I don't know. I feel like sometimes, a lot of these Thursday Night Football games are trash. I feel like if these Monday night games can get flexed now too, that would be dope. Maybe like bump these ones back. Like, okay, we got these guys playing. All right, never mind. You're playing on Sunday like normal. These motherfuckers are going to be playing on Monday Night Football just to make a better game or something like that. NFL Players Association announced that Damar Hamlin is this year's winner of the Ellen Page Award for community service. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson from the Vikings, he was named off AP NFL Offensive Player of the Year. 49ers defensive end, what's not on there? But Nick Bosa, he wins Defensive Player of the Year award after leading the San Francisco's top-ranked defense with 18.5 sacks. Another OSU product. Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson was named Offensive Rookie of the Year after racking up 83 catches for 1,103 yards. Oh, who's the comeback player of the year? You're probably thinking Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. Nope. It was quarterback Geno Smith. And yes, he did have a hell of a year, but he won the comeback player of the year award. Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley finished second and third behind Geno. Giants head coach Brian Dable. He was named NFL Coach of the Year. The Jets' Sauce Gardner, he cruises to Defensive Rookie of the Year honors after garnering 46 of the 51st place votes. Dak Prescott of the Cowboys won the NFL's Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Also, do want to highlight that Bills trainer Denny Kellington gets 5th place in the MVP voting for giving Damar Hamlin CPR. And then Patrick Mahomes is the 2022 NFL MVP. Also, he was the Super Bowl MVP. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he, I don't know, in the Chiefs dynasty? I mean, is this Chiefs a dynasty? Let's see. I want to show you guys some stats real quick. All right. This is what, and this was just before the Super Bowl win, okay? This is what Patrick Mahomes has done in just his 5 years of being in the league. He's won NFL MVP twice. He's been to 5 AFC title games, all at home. That means they've got home field advantage every single time. So either first or second seed. He's had 3 Super Bowl appearances now. He has had 1 Super Bowl MVP. Now he's got 2. 3-time All-Pro. He's got 5 Pro Bowls. That means every year he's been in the league, he's been in a Pro Bowler, or he's been a Pro Bowler. He's been the NFL's 2-time passing touchdowns leader, and now he holds the record for the most yards in a single season, and that's total yards, not passing yards. Peyton Manning still owns that record, and I believe Lamar Jackson owns the record for rushing. So, and now he's got 2 Super Bowls that he can add to the resume. That was not the only stat. With the Super Bowl MVP award, Patrick Mahomes is now the 6th player in history with multiple Super Bowl MVPs. And that goes from Bart Starr, Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Eli Manning, Patrick Mahomes. That's some good company right there. But wait, guys. There is more. We got another Adam Schefter tweet. All right. This is one that Patrick Mahomes just broke on Sunday. So the last 9 reigning MVPs who have played in the Super Bowl, they all lost. Not Patrick Mahomes. But Kurt Warner, Rich Gannon, Sean Alexander, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning twice. Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, because he failed miserably, and Tom Brady. All of them have won the Super Bowl MVP. I'm sorry. They've won the MVP award, but lost in the Super Bowl. Alrighty. Yeah, but all that is the stats of him. But yeah, I would say that is a Hall of Fame resume. Honestly, if Patrick Mahomes want to retire tomorrow or today, he'd be a Hall of Famer. And I can't say that about Andrew Luck, and we'll get into him because he's coming up on the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of next year, like where he can be inducted and all that stuff. And me personally, I don't think that he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's a really great quarterback that came into the NFL and played for our Colts, and he did really great things for us. Had a hell of a career, but unfortunately it was a very short one. And I feel like the other quarterbacks that have played in the league at a very long time and done a lot of things. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is this prime example right now. He's literally like just destroyed the game since he's into the league. He's only been in it for 5 years, and he already has more Super Bowl wins than a lot of other quarterbacks that have played in the league for like 15 years, maybe 20 years. He got more than Aaron Rodgers. He's got just as many as Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. I mean, dude's crazy. He's crazy. Crazy. And he's tough, man. That dude is tough. I mean, obviously, you guys saw that on the field. Getting tackled at the end of the second half, I believe. They went to the locker room. A lot of people were like, oh, damn, is Patrick Mahomes coming back out? He's wincing in pain. You can definitely see he was in some agony. Coming back out, and he balled out. And as a matter of fact, I think in the fourth quarter, he was running. Just running. I mean, obviously, he came up on that play in some pain because he got tackled. But, I mean, he was booking, man. He did whatever it took to win the game. You got to give him props for his toughness. And this dude's definitely a baller, man. I feel like he's literally going to be the problem, and honestly, in my personal opinion, we're going to have to recognize Patrick Mahomes if this dynasty continues and they keep winning, because they've already been to 3 Super Bowls, and they've won 2 of them already. I mean, that's a dynasty right there, essentially. I mean, they could probably win another 2 to 3 more, win 5. But right now, the AFC is stacked, in my opinion. Depending on what the Colts can do, maybe we can make some noise. But right now, I mean, you can think about the Joe Burrows, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. You got Sean Payton with Russell Wilson now. I mean, there's some AFC powerhouses that play. And if he's dominating all these guys and he wins all these Super Bowls, I'm going to have to say that his Chiefs dynasty way better than the Patriots dynasty. And I would feel like they've had a stronger resume of teams that they've annihilated and beat. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. And then also Jalen Hurts balled out. Dude threw for over like 300 yards, rushed it for like over, I think, 50 or something like that. Dude was just killing it, man. And honestly, I thought they were going to win the game. You had Nick Sirianni crying during the national anthem. I mean, very an emotional game for him. Being in, his first time in the Super Bowl, it was the second year, I think, in that organization. A lot of emotions flying around, man. Like, it just like you fight all the time just to get to this point, and now you're there. So like I felt him on that, And then I mean, everything just screamed that the Eagles were going to do it. I mean, 70% of the money, I believe, was on the Eagles. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of pissed off people, especially about that call at the end of the game. Like, oh, my. But here, I'm going to show you guys the Hall of Famers that are now going to be inducted. We got Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Don Coryell, Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, and Ken Riley. All of them are now in the Football Hall of Fame. Now, here are some names that are coming up. And some of them I'm not going to judge. I might not know who some of them are. I'd have to do some more research on their game. But some of them I'm just going to tell you right away. So Andrew Luck. No, I don't think he qualifies to be in the Hall of Fame. Antonio Gates. Yes. I think he was a former basketball player, if I remember correctly, but he came in the game and just literally killed it. Julius Peppers. Absolutely. Dude's a lock. Honestly, I'm just telling you right now, these two are a lock next year. I'm not even looking at who hasn't got into it yet. And by the way, Devin Hester definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. If he's not in it next year, what the fuck's going on? Like, honestly, are these guys even judging them correctly? Can I be like the judge who judges who gets into the Hall of Fame? Like, who is the determiner of this thing? Because that's ridiculous. But this is the record for Luck. He's threw for 23,000 yards, 171 touchdowns, 83 interceptions, was a 53-33 starter. He's great, but he didn't play very long and never won a Super Bowl or an AFC championship. He's never won an MVP award. Yeah. No, I don't think he needs to be in it. Now, Antonio Gates, he should be a first ballot. And he's got 955 receptions, 11,841 yards, 116 touchdowns across 16 seasons. That was in San Diego, later Los Angeles Chargers. He was 7th in all-time in receiving touchdowns, tops among tight ends in that category. He ranks 3rd among tight ends in all-time receptions and receiving yards. Now, Julius Peppers, 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first team All-Pro selection, 2002 Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's 4th in all-time in sacks, had 10 seasons with double-digit sacks, and he split his career between Carolina, Panthers, Bears, and the Packers across 17 seasons. Here are some other names that might be considered in there. Eric Berry, that's a good one. Jamal Charles, I don't think he deserves to be in it. Jordy Nelson, I don't think so either. And honestly, a lot of people are going to come at my life about Jordy Nelson. It's hard. I mean, wide receivers, there's so many good wide receivers. So many good ones, man. I don't know, man. I do think Haloti Nagata should be in there. Let's see. Brandon Marshall, no. Josh Sitton, no. Kyle Williams, no. Sebastian Janikowski, no. There ones I want to see for sure next year. Definitely Julius Peppers, definitely Antonio Gates, and also Devin Hester. Yeah. Alrighty, and I would like to see my boy Reggie Wayne in there too. Let's see. And don't come at me. Reggie Wayne's definitely better than Jordy Nelson. You don't have to come at my life. I can just show you statistics. You can go at this all day. All right, the Commanders are moving on from Carson Wentz. They're going to be parting ways, and they're rolling in the dice and going with Sam Howell. And that makes me think for fantasy next year. Maybe I might pick him up as a sleeper pick. I mean, the last guy I was fully sold on was Patrick Mahomes. And the only reason I was sold on Patrick Mahomes is because obviously got to see him play in college against a couple teams, and he did well against those teams. But Andy Reid started him and just did away with Alex Smith after Alex Smith was coming off this MVP season. It's just like, dude, this dude just did really good. And you're just going to go instantly to this kid? This kid's got to be something special. And I remember picking Patrick Mahomes with my very last pick in my draft and got him. And, yeah, it was pretty awesome. The rest is history. I think I won that championship that year. I had a really stacked team. I think I had Russell Wilson as my my quarterback originally, but after like week 3, Patrick Mahomes all the way. But yeah, Sam Howell. What if he's that guy? Ron Rivera seems like they're going to roll with him. Maybe they sign someone else like Derek Carr or trade for Aaron Rodgers. We're going to see. Maybe it's not going to be Sam, but they're talking like it is. I mean, they're telling all these reporters. You're seeing the media on the NFL Network. So maybe we'll see what Sam Howell is next year. He did it pretty good in that last game, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. The Packers are open to trading Aaron Rodgers. They're willing to facilitate a trade if a request is made after he comes back from his darkness retreat. We won't know more about that until Pat McAfee talks about it tomorrow on his show. I believe he's coming on about 1:00 p.m. I'll be tuning in to see that. About Aaron Rodgers, where could he go? Washington. The Jets have been some front runners trying to get him. The Raiders. I haven't heard anything with the Colts, but I've heard people talk about, hey, what if he did? 49ers maybe. There was another one I thought of. The Panthers. What if Frank Reich does that? Man, you never know. Bucks are eyeing Jimmy G. Tampa Bay plans to retool while still competing. They're going to get Jimmy Garoppolo as an option. That's per NFL Network. Also, during the Super Bowl week leading up to the Super Bowl, Vic Fangio has been helping the Eagles prep for the Super Bowl after he signed a two-week contract with them. And I saw this right before the Super Bowl came out. I'm like, oh, so that means this dude can actually get a Super Bowl ring, and all he did was talk to him for 2 weeks. Like, that's crazy. Also, after the game, Chad Henne retired. Andy Reid is also going to be sticking around. So really glad to see that, just because I want to see that run. I want to see if Patrick Mahomes has what it takes. By the way, my picks, let's go over these right now. Chris took the Eagles. Boy lost. He did take the over. I took the under loss, but I did take the spread and the money line. So I went 2-1. Chris went 1-1. Let's see. Chris would be. So Chris ended the playoffs 4-3. Me, I did another 2-1, and I started off pretty good. Round 1, I was 6-0. Then 3-1, that's 9-1. 6-4 be 15-5, and 18-8. So 20-9. Not bad. I won money, so I hope you guys did too. I know last week I didn't. I broke even. But the week before that I did. The week before that I did. And the week before that I did. And this week I did. So, dang. Alrighty. Cool. What a year. I can't wait to make some picks next year. This time next year, though, I'm going to start showing you guys my bets. I'm going to put them up here and let you guys see. It'll be fun. All right, last thing I wanted to mention was the Volkanowski fight. I personally thought Volkanowski won rounds 2, 3, and 5. Joe Rogan even said it. I mean, there's a couple other boxers and UFC fighters out there that also agreed. There's other people, prominent figures that have watched it. I mean, I'm assuming all the time, just because I see them tweet about all the time on every single fight. But we all thought Volk won, and I feel like he was robbed. I mean, you saw in Islam's face in that 5th round. He just looked like he was panicked. I mean, I remember him walking back to his thing, and he was saying something to his coach, like wanting like a rematch or something like that. It's like, all right, he's already asking for a rematch. He already thinks that he lost. And I don't know. I keep going back. You can watch that tape again. I think that Volk won. He definitely dominated round 5. Round 2, I feel like he definitely won in round 3. And there's at a point in time where even though he was on the ground being controlled and whatnot, you clearly didn't. It looked like Volkanowski wasn't in any threat or any trouble. Also, I want to say that the 0 submission attempts, I feel like that is bullshit because he definitely tried to put old boy in a headlock almost 100 times, but Volkanowski got it every single time. And then I remember at one point, I want to say it was in round 4, maybe, like when he was controlling him on the ground a lot. And Volk just kept punching him in the face and was hitting him a lot. And it didn't seem like he was affected. It just seemed like he just couldn't move. He was just stuck in there. But he was fucking up his face big time. Also, he landed a lot more shots. I know that his percentage for Islam was a lot better. He was just being more selective, I guess, and just more precise with his not more precise. I mean, obviously it was more precise and more accurate, but he wasn't throwing a lot of shots. I think he was just looking to see what was open. Volk was like a madman out of hell, dude. That dude just came throwing and throwing, and he landed a good shot, a good percentage too, and he landed a lot of, like literally a lot of them. The dude's a dog. Man, he should be the 2-time champ right now, in my opinion. They really should. And they should run that back. They should definitely rematch. I want to see that again. And I definitely think that Volkan can fight in this weight class. Just by what he showed there. But I don't know, man. Islam also did really, really good too as well. But it was a really good fight. I just felt like Volk won, but whatever. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not a professional. It's clinch time. On the ground time. He controlled all the ground time. He had 4 takedowns. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck it. Whatever. Whatever. That's all I had to talk about, guys. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for me, you guys. All right, well, that's all I got for today. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'll reply to them on the next show. It's going to be a little bit different, I know, these next couple of weeks. This is the kind of rough times part of the year where I just got to throw some things in my show. Well, you know what? I do want to talk about something. Hold on, let me go on Twitter right quick because I think I want to show you guys. Talk about Ohio. I'm going to bring it up real quick. I just got to find it. There's like this Ohio pollution. I know a lot of you guys might not know about it, but they're calling it Ohio Chernobyl. Yep. Yeah. You guys can just follow along with me. But yeah, apparently, like a massive train derailed on Friday and it exploded and all this was up in the air. And there was reporters being arrested because they were trying to report it or something like that. And I mean, you're going to see all the conspiracy theorists and shit like that. But I mean, something's going on over there. You see a big cloud. There was people that were sharing things on TikTok. They're like, dude, this is crazy. These aren't clouds, is what they were saying. But not only that, guys, there's like fucking UFOs too, dude. That just looks like an escort. This is an hour ago. I mean, I don't know. There's just been a lot of UFOs. There's been one that got shot down over Michigan. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to find that one. Hold on. I'll just type it in. UFO Michigan. What the fuck? Lasers. What the fuck? Damn. I've never seen some shit like that before. I'm sure that's like some fucking drone though. That's probably not like no UFO. That's probably a drone. But I know drones have like fucking lasers and shit like that. I mean, unless it's not, I don't know. But that, yeah. Fuck, that's crazy. There is, I don't know. There is something where it says that the government shot down an unidentified object in Michigan. There was one in Canada that got shot down. And there was one another place, I believe, that got shot down. There was like 5 of them or something like that. I'm like, damn, dude. Plus, you got Ohio Chernobyling is what they're calling it. And it's affecting all the residents around there. And fish are dying and other wildlife is dying. Animals are dying. Pets are dying. There's a lot of shit going down right now, man. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's one of the stuff I'm probably going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to look more into this UFO shit. Maybe I can get some juicy topics going on. Send me some ideas, guys. I'm down to take a look at some stuff, but I'll be talking about any NFL news that pops up. I mean, there probably ain't going to be a bunch, but it'll probably be more draft stuff. Going to keep talking about the NBA, of course, but I'm going to be adding some stuff to it, whatever I can find. Appreciate you guys listening to my show, though, guys. Deuces.